Hello Stampers, my name is Linda Bedinger and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. And today I have a birthday card project for you, taking a little break from the Christmas cards. And so it's one that's using some of the things you may already have in your stash. So let's just get started. Here is our project today, and it is this absolutely gorgeous card using the Magnolia and some of our blends and the heirloom frame. And this I did see on Pinterest, and right now I can't remember the name of the woman whose card this is reminiscent of, and I will be sure and link that below the video. I didn't see anything to change on this one. It is just so beautiful the way it is. So let's just get started and let me show you what you need to make this card. I used a basic black base here, 8.5 by 5.5, scored and folded at 4 1/4. On this card, I used 2 pieces of Highland Heather, and this one I thought I would use the Gorgeous Grape and see how I liked that to go on my card. And so we're going to try and do that with the Gorgeous Grape instead of the Highland Heather. So you need 2 pieces of, in this case, Gorgeous Grape, one for the inside and one for the outside. And then you need a piece of Very Vanilla. Let's see, this piece is 3 3/4 by 5. And then the 2 pieces of this Gorgeous Grape are 4 by 5 1/4. Then you need a piece of gold foil, and this one measures a little over 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. It just needs to be big enough to cut out your oval, your frame. And this is the heirloom frame die. And then once I got it cut out, I used my heirloom frame embossing folder to create my frame for the card. Then I used my Country Floral embossing folder to do the panel that goes behind the frame and the raised flowers. Okay, and as is my practice, I've already cut out my frame and run it through the embossing folder, so I have that done. Then you need a couple of pieces of designer series paper, one scrap that is big enough to fit behind the oval that we're going to color in, and then on the inside I used the little Magnolia bud, and I've got one here. And that's really all there is to it. I put a few of the peacock rhinestones on here, and the inside is very simple with just the bud stamped there. All right, so let's get to the coloring. And so I wanted to share with you exactly what I did to do my coloring. Now you do have to fussy cut out a couple of blossoms to kind of go along the edge of the frame. And then you need the bud for the inside, and I've already colored those. But I did some of my other coloring a little bit ahead because I wanted to save some time on the video. But I saved this piece here to show you exactly what I did. And I have my Highland Heather light and dark blends, and I'm going to show you there's really nothing special about it at all. It's just getting down the color, particularly on the light. And I colored the light. I left the yellow center of the flower open. And this is just to get the color down. And then highlight that color with the dark blend. And that's really all there is to it. Let me get this colored in so you can see. And because it's going to go behind that frame, there is no need to color all the way to the outside. I'm pretty sure this is going to do it for the inside of that card. And we'll check it out, and if I need to add a little bit more color, I can. This is actually quite easy as well because the background on this is black. So if you happen to go off just a tidge, nobody's going to be the wiser because the black absorbs that purple pretty well. Then I took my dark Highland Heather and I did some flicking at the base of the petals here to give a little bit of a darker look. Here we go. And then I outlined the leaves, and honestly, that is all there is to it. And in fact, I'm not even going to speed this up because what's left to do here is so minimal. It's going to take me just a second to go around these leaves and outline them and finish that coloring. As simple as that. For as complicated as this card looks, it really is quite simple. Now, there's a couple places where the lighter is a little too light for me, so I'm going to kind of blend that back in there a little bit. All right, so that is it. Now, what we need to do is take our base and adhere this piece on here. Isn't that just striking? That beautiful dark purple. And for this, I am going to use liquid glue because we have so many ridges of different depths that I think using the liquid glue is going to be really the smart thing to do. There we go. So I'm going to just cover that with the liquid glue, and I'm going to center that on my card front. Now on this piece, what I'm going to do is center this over the flowers, and you can see, depending on where we put it, we're going to get more flowers or fewer flowers. And I'm kind of liking right about there. And what I'm going to do is just trim behind that. And use my scissors and just trim away a little bit of that exterior. Let's make sure that still covers. It definitely does. And that way I get lots of flowers in the picture. And I can see in the back here I need to maybe trim down this piece a little bit here on the bottom. I want that to fit right inside there. And what I'm going to do is put a little bit of snail on the inside of the frame to hold down my colored Magnolia piece. And get that put right where I want it. And it looks like I'll need to trim a little bit more off of this end. But that's all good. All right. So there we go. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some dimensionals all the way along the back of my frame. Okay, so now this piece is ready to go on the front of our card, just like that. You know, I might put that big flower up towards the top. And this is centered, but maybe a bit more towards the top because I've got so many other pieces going on here on the bottom. I don't know if I said, but you need, for the sentiment, I've cut a piece that is 1 inch by 2 inches, then 1 1/8 by 2 1/8, then 1 1/4 by 3 1/4, so that I can mat those. And I see here that I've done that the other way, and I've already stamped my sentiment. And that sentiment fits beautifully on a 1 by 2 piece. Now that's going to be a little bit different than that one, but that's okay. All right, so on the inside of our card, we need one of our 4 by 5 1/4 pieces, and we can just use some snail on that to get that placed on the inside of the card. You can see as I go through this, it looks very complicated, and it's not. It's very fast. So I'm going to put that piece in place, and then this piece I actually stamped on here, and this one I have a separate raised piece. So I'm going to go ahead and put this very vanilla piece on the inside, centering that on the purple. And then I'm going to add some snail to the back of my little magnolia here. My magnolia bloom, and getting some snail all over the back of that so that I can set that in place right down here on the bottom of my card. And there we have that beautiful separate piece there, and we have our sentiment to put together. And this sentiment comes from the painted glass. I mean to use this one more because it's such a beautiful stamp set. But have a beautiful birthday here. Like I said, fits perfectly on this piece. And then I'm going to add some snail and put that on the black. And then add some more snail and put that on the Gorgeous Grape. So you'll have to tell me which of these you like better, with the lighter or the more intense purple. Now I'm going to add a couple of dimensionals. Actually, I probably only need dimensionals down in the corner here on the bottom, maybe right up here, but maybe a mini right up here at the top. And then I'm just going to add some snail coming across here because that's going to rest on top of my wreath. So let me put this in place. Have a beautiful birthday. And then this is going to also go up on dimensionals. I know it seems like a lot, but this is designer series paper, so it's not as sturdy as cardstock, and I don't want things flopping around. Okay, so this one then is going to go right here on our frame. And there we have it. I added one extra one on this one, and now that I look at it, it might use an extra flower on there to look more full. So you'll have to tell me. I'm curious about what you all think. First about the darker or the lighter purple, and then also one more or that number of flowers. And then I've got some of these purple rhinestones from the Noble Peacock. Gosh, I think it's such a pretty card. It's almost over the top, but it's so pretty. There we go. One more. I like odd numbers. Maybe we'll stick one on the flower here. Okay, so there we go. That is the project for today. Like I said, it looks complicated and it's really a pretty fast little card. So thank you so much for stopping by my YouTube channel today. I do so appreciate it. And if you don't already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I'd love to be your demonstrator. You can order any of these products on my website, lbedinger.stampinup.net, or you can get to it through my blog, www.inkandingenuity.com. You can shop with me there. It's a new blog for me, so what I'm doing is posting the Christmas cards that I've designed so far this season up, and I've got so far I think 15 of them designed and about 8 of them up. So I'll be adding those, and then I'll be interspersing these other cards, and pretty soon I'll be caught up, and then the cards that I'll be doing will be the next ones going up on my blog. But again, thanks for joining me, and my prize draw for the month of October is a bundle out of the holiday catalog, your choice, and I'll have something up for November anytime now. So thanks again, and I'll see you soon. I'll be back with more cards, more projects, and more tips. Bye!